Just give us a bit of background on yourself, where you were before, obviously.
I was just sort of in a bit of a rut myself. So obviously I've trained for years, so I know what I'm doing when I'm in the gym. And I thought I knew what I was doing when it came to like food and everything else.
Don't really come out of the comfort zone. So when you stay in your comfort zone and you don't step out of it, you're never going to get... To achieve something different, you've got to do something different.
But I quit. That session was crap. Like, I'm just going to, like, doesn't matter. Like, I'm not going to go tomorrow. I'm just going to sack it off.
But again, with that, it's when you're sort of not tracking it properly and you're just sort of winging it. It's going to stay weak if you don't continue to, build on it and you don't continue to progressively overload.
I used to hate doing it. I used to be like, nah, well, I'll skip that. As if that's like me. But it's so like weird, but I present myself differently. Like when like I went out with the girls and I was like I'm confident. And like it's so crazy to actually look in the mirror and think, hey, I look all right today. It sounds really big-headed.
Hello guys and welcome to the Abbzfit podcast. So today we've got Georgia. She's going to talk us through her experience with Abbzfit and how she's progressed on her journey, where she started, where she's at now, and how she's getting on. If you're interested, after listening to this, in finding out more about how we can help you with your journey, feel free to just drop us a message or visit our website, abbzfit.co.uk, and you'll get more information there, guys. We're also joined by Samina. We'll be getting giving her feedback and stuff on it as well, so we'll get started. How are you doing, Georgia?
Yes,
this is
I'm
actually take two.
Yes, it is take two.
We had a bit of a mess up with our previous one, so I basically bought some dodgy SD cards that didn't seem to record everything we've done, so we are resetting this podcast, guys. So, let's start with yourself, Georgia.
Hello.
So, just give us a bit of background on yourself, where you were before, obviously, when you first, what made you...
Well, I'd seen, obviously, loads of posts on social media, and I'd seen people who I went to school with and stuff, and I'd seen their results, and I was like, surely that's not, like, surely there's some sort of fix, like, surely that can't actually be working. And I was just sort of in a bit of a rut myself, so obviously I've trained for years, so I know what I'm doing when I'm in the gym, and I thought I knew what I was doing when it came to, like, food and everything else. But I was stuck, really. I sort of just didn't really know what to eat. Like I say, thought I was training good, but evidently I was just in the same circle of doing the same thing, but nothing was ever actually working. Yeah,
I think that's one of the issues that most people have. The amount of people you see go to the gym, and you're seeing they've been going there for months or years, maybe, and they're going there regular, but where most people go wrong, they're just going through the motions. They don't know about progressive overload.
No.
They don't really come out of the comfort zone. So when you stay in your comfort zone and you don't step out of it, you're never going to get... To achieve something different, you've got to do something different. If you just do the same thing repetitively, you're not going to see any results. And that's where most people don't understand what progressive overload is. They don't understand about tracking. We all worry about tracking our food and our calories, but they never focus on tracking actually what you're doing in the gym.
Yeah.
Are you lifting more? Because you don't know. Because you imagine on a weekly basis, if you've even got basic 5 exercises for one of your days of training, a week later you're not going to remember what you lifted on each 5 exercises, because you'll have done another 5 the day after, then maybe he's had a break. And you say if you've got 4 sessions a week, that's 20 exercises. Now you've got to remember for each round what you've lifted, how many reps you've done. So if you're not tracking that, you're never going to have a record of it. So you're never going to really progressively overload properly.
I feel like as well I was writing it down, but I was sort of like, not ego lifting, because I don't lift a lot anyway, but like I was kicking myself, like say I couldn't, I don't know, shoulder press a 6 kg dumbbell. I was like, oh, I quit. Like, and then I'd like find myself training and then going and sit in the car and like text my friends and text my husband and being like, oh, that session was crap. Like, I'm just gonna, like, doesn't matter. Like, I'm not gonna go tomorrow. I'm just gonna sack it off. And then I'd go home and just because my session wasn't good, I'd eat like shit, basically. Like, take like comfort eat because my session wasn't very good. Where
really, things start to spiral, isn't it? One thing leads to another, and you just sort of fall off track. But again, with that, it's when you're sort of not tracking it properly and you're just sort of winging it, you're always going to have them days.
Yeah.
Especially if you start ego lifting. Ego lifting is one of the biggest things that people, where they go wrong. Instead of focusing on your form and doing things correctly, making sure the main thing when you're in that gym is to put that muscle under tension. So if you're not putting that muscle under tension, you're not going to get the effect that you want. You're just going to end up swinging your way through the reps just for the sake of lifting heavy weight. The amount, especially with guys, you'll see them when they go in there and they lift the dumbbells up and they'll be doing bicep curls. And they might have like 15 in their arms and they're swinging their way through.
Yeah.
Instead of dropping it to a 6 or a 7 because they're worried or they're looking at someone else and seeing what they're lifting. But you've just got to focus on yourself.
Yeah, I used to, I'd go to the gym with Lewis, my husband, and he'd be like, you need to do, trying to correct my form and stuff. And then I'd feel like I'd had a really crap session. I'd be like, I hate training with him because he used to actually tell me how to do it properly. And he used to be like, because I'm doing it properly, I can't actually lift what I was lifting, because obviously before my form wasn't right. So I was like, obviously out of shape while I was lifting it. And then when I was doing it right, I wasn't actually able to lift the right stuff, where now I focus more probably on my form and then getting the weight heavier. It's like an extra win.
Yeah, exactly. And it's understanding different body parts. Like, again, a lot of people get confused when they're going in that gym and they're lifting a certain weight, when they're working on a certain part of the body, and they expect us to lift the same sort of weight on another part. So, for example, your legs are always going to be your strong point.
Yeah.
And it's why? Because the muscles are massive. Muscles in your legs are 3 or 4 times the size of the muscles in your arms.
Yeah.
And that's the reason you can lift more weights with your legs. So when it comes to upper body, I get this a lot with female clients. They always message on my upper body's so weak, and they give up on it. But it's going to stay weak if you don't continue to, build on it, and you don't continue to progressively overload.
I used to hate training upper body.
Yeah.
And now I hate training legs. I'm like, leg day again.
No, yeah.
It's because now I know what I'm doing. I'm getting the right information to do the right exercises for the right body part. And now my upper body is getting stronger, and I'm like, as if I can do that.
Well, and now men are the opposite. So most men will skip leg day because women are naturally stronger on the bottom half, and men are normally naturally stronger on the top half. Just the way we're designed, the way we're built. So you're going to have that problem. So men that tend to skip leg day because they haven't got the confidence, or they feel a bit daft about not being as strong on their legs. So it just comes with that. It comes back to ego again, and it's the same with women when it comes to upper body. But to get strong upper body, you've got to continuously do it. I mean, the amount of clients we've had, you're one of them now, you can almost do a pull-up. You've done 1 and 3 pull-up.
I'm going to say I can do one.
Yeah, you've done it. You started off where you couldn't do pull-ups at all. We started off with the assisted pull-up machine, and we're slowly working our way through. And it's again, if you hadn't just kept at that consistently, and we hadn't gone from using certain weights on the assisted machine and reducing the weight as we've gone on, you would never have got to that 1 pull-up.
No, never.
But you've done it because you've had the right structure, you've had a plan in place to follow, and you've done it consistently. And it always comes back to consistency.
It really does. I didn't realise how important consistency is until, obviously, I started this programme, because I remember when my phase changed at one point, and hip thrusts were one of my main goals sort of thing, to get heavier on to hip thrust. Yeah. And in my plan, there was a different variation every day for hip thrusts, and I was like, surely not. Surely Abdul Zaman me up here. Hip thrusts every day. And then I ended up lifting I think now I'm 125 kilograms on a hip thrust. It's double, maybe more my body weight. Do you know what I mean? I never thought I'd be able to do something like that, but doing it consistently every day and resting obviously appropriately in between,
Yeah, well, what got me. I've got my head around that, doing something consistently, on a daily basis. I wouldn't say do this with every muscle group. Every now and then there is an exercise where you can build in. Maybe doing the same, working that same muscle group 3 or 4 times a week. And I'd gone in the gym one day, and Samina was hip thrusting something 135 kg. And I looked at it and I thought, I didn't dare try it in front of her. I thought, if I can't do that in front of her, so I thought, right. So the next day when she wasn't there, tried it, and I struggled, and I was like, shit. I can't do this. She can do it, so I'm not having that. So for the full week, I was just hip thrusting with a barbell every day, and I ended up working my way up to something like 150, and I thought, right, that's all right. So the next week when she coming out, I was like, oh yeah, they're all there. I said, I can do that, and I went over and done it. But,
I can do
but I've
more
been practicing
than
all
you.
week just to make sure I could do it. But it just shows that, like, if you do, you know, if there's a certain part of your body that you struggle with, you work on it a bit more. And it's like the hip thrust, you will determine to be a hip thrust a certain way.
Because I used to hate them. I used to hate doing it. I used to be like, nah, well, I'll skip that.
And that's why we put the variations in, because it's not a case of like every day lift heavy. One day we had you lifting heavy and low volume, and then the next day you were lifting high volume with lightweight.
Yeah.
And then we put like, we were using one leg format and stuff like that, the B stance ones.
Yeah.
So it was just different variations to keep that muscle work, but you were still giving it a rest from like heavy weight, going to more volume, just switching things up. Yeah. And it does help you get that, you know, better.
Evidently, it does.
It does. I mean, what were you on now? 125 kg or something, which is a massive dip.
I remember, like, obviously at the beginning, I'd lifted about, I think it was about 80 kg, and I was like, oh, it's more than like what I weigh. It's like crazy, but now I'm just obviously flying, picking myself up.
What would you say is the biggest challenge you faced since?
I think fitting it into, I think before, I obviously used to try and fit it into my lifestyle, when now it is my lifestyle. Like, I've totally switched up the way that I think about things and the way that I do things. And like, obviously with work and stuff, like, I'm always really busy. So I used to work like later shifts, and I'd finish at like 8 o'clock on a night. They've obviously changed now, but when I used to finish at 8, I used to be like, I got the gym at 8 o'clock. Yeah. So there'd be like one week I'd be like, gym. And then the week after I'd be like, oh, I'm too tired. Yeah. But now I feel like, because I work around the gym, if that makes sense. Yeah. I feel like now I know that I'm going to go to the gym. Yeah. And I work my days around. It sounds crazy when you say it out loud, doesn't it? But I work my days around the gym. Like today, I know what I'm doing today, and I give myself a set time for the gym. Yeah. Because if I don't give myself a set time, I just won't go.
Well, it is, if you don't give yourself structure, you don't plan. It's the same like we say, meal prep on a Sunday, so you've got your meals for the next few. Because then if you've got it, it's easy to go. And it's the same with your gym. If you've got a structure set out and you know, well, this days, I can get to the gym this many days a week and I'm free, I'll go. Well, if you just start on a Monday, think, right, I'm going to the gym every day this week, there's a good chance you're not going to get there every day. And the day you miss, it puts you off, and then you think, oh, I'll just start again next week, and you continue to miss the gym. But instead, if you just start, right, well, I only need to go to the gym to get the results I want. I've got the program in place to do 3 or 4 days, whatever fits within your schedule. Then you know they're your gym days, and that's all you've got. You haven't got like 7 days of it. So you're not going to skip a day because you know, like, oh no, today's my gym day, I'll do it, and then tomorrow's my rest day. So you've got it all planned into your schedule.
Yeah, I think that's like the best thing as well. Obviously, this program is tailored to you and like your life. It's not like, because I used to like look at other people and they'd go to the gym 6 days a week, and I'd be like, how do you even fit that in? And like be able to go home and actually sit on a night and like, you still need to live, don't you? But I just think I do 4 gym sessions a week, and
you've got better results.
Like a better result.
You're doing less and you get more because you're doing what needs to be done.
Yeah.
If people think you've got to be in that gym for, like, I see some people like, oh, you have 2 hours in the gym. You don't need 2 hours in the gym. No. You can get your weights done within about 40 minutes and then spend 20, 30 minutes of cardio. Yeah. And you're doing that 4 times a week, you're going to get results. Then the rest of the time, you just focus on, like we do with yourself, is your general activity levels. And it's, again, we build them into your lifestyle. For example, and you said when when you've got spare time at work, you'll go and get your steps in.
Yeah, where I used to just sit. Yeah. Now I'll be like, right, getting up and I'm moving. And even if, I don't know, you do an extra 500 steps while you've got like, 20 minutes or whatever, it's like...
You don't realise, like, we found a step challenge on YouTube recently, and it was
class them.
Yeah, it's 12 minutes, 2,000 steps, and you're doing it in your living room.
I'm glad the neighbours can't see. I think I was so shocked.
Yeah, they're good. It's just little things like that. Like, for me as well, another thing is, if you want to save time, so when you're in the gym, do your steps in between your sets.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we'll finish a set, and you'll sit there and you'll scroll on your phone. Instead of scrolling on your phone, get up on your feet and just walk up and down. Just pace up and down where you're at. Yeah. You're in a zone anyway. I normally have my headphones on, so I'm in my own little zone. I'm just bouncing about, rolling, like strolling around the machine or whatever. Have your 90 seconds or 2-minute rest, whatever you're having in between sets, and back on. Now, if you've got 5 exercises and you're doing like 3-4 sets of each, that's 20 to 30 minutes of rest when you work it out over the average of that hour when you're there.
Yeah.
So if you've been doing your steps in between there, you're going to crack up at least 2,000 to 3,000 steps.
Yeah.
Without even, it's not taking no extra time out your day. It's not taking no extra effort. You're just basically walking around instead of sitting there on your phone.
I feel like as well, like now, because obviously I'm training properly and I know what I'm doing. Once I've done a set, I feel like I need to walk it off.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I get up and go again, yes, you are resting, but I felt like if I would sit there, for some reason afterwards, after the rest, I couldn't then like lift again because you'd be sit scrolling on your phone, you forget where you are.
Yeah. Well, that's why we have the like rep ranges all planned out for you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like we'll have you doing 8 to 12 reps, then it might change to like 15 to 20 reps or variations like that. But you'll know like if you're getting 12 reps in comfortably, you've learned now that you need to up the weight. So you know like how and when to judge your weight needs to go up. If you know you're struggling to get the 8 in and you're just about getting 8 or 9 reps in, you know, all right, I'm staying with that weight.
Yeah.
But if you were getting 12 reps in and then you've got loads of energy after it, you know it's time up to you.
It's not heavy enough.
So now you've learnt them little tricks of like how to basically
but it's only
progressively
because if obviously on the plan you can see everything I do and everything I input, and if I've been doing say 12 reps, maybe it's twice consecutive, you're like, right, Georgia, up that way, you know. And it's like, but it's nice to have someone to say, like, you know you can do it, but sometimes you just need a little bit of a nudge.
Well, it is the amount of times I'll be looking through someone's plan and I'll just see 3 sets of 12, 3 sets of 12, and I'm like, you just stay in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
If you're doing 3 sets of 12 on that, and that's what we've got put in place for you, you're staying in your comfort zone, so we need to get you out of it. So that's when I'll message and say, like, add 10 kilo on next week or add 5 kilo on. Another thing I think people are scared to use in the gym is the small plates, 2.5s and 1.25s.
Yeah.
It's another thing, you know, they feel they have to go up in 5s and 10s. There's them small plates are there for a reason. Yeah, they don't look as good when you're putting them on your bar, but who cares? It's for you. It just helps you get like, I would rather be going from like lifting 120 kilo to 122 kilo than just being stuck on 120 till I go to 130. Do you know, like you're never gonna. It's gonna be a lot harder to get that big jump, isn't it?
I found as well on the a little hack is on the cables. Obviously, some of them have like the twisty things where you can add little bits of weight, but on the ones that you can't, I get like a 1 kg dumbbell and like hook it over the top. I'd seen someone else doing it and I was like, I'm going to use that. And it's so much better because instead of obviously having to go up, like you say, 5 kg, you're just going up 1, but you're still feeling like that you're doing more.
Yeah, you're still achieving
something. No, 100%. You've got to like stay on it, haven't you? Like that and just keep progressively overloading. What do you do to stay motivated and keep that? You know, obviously you said consistency is key.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest motivating factor? Like,
I feel like I try and be like my own motivation. So I enjoy looking back at like pictures and stuff. Like I had a rubbish day yesterday. Like my steps were rubbish. I thought my session was rubbish, but when you actually look back, it actually isn't. But you just kick yourself anyway.
Yeah.
But I find like looking back and actually seeing how far I've actually come. Because I used to think, I don't know, I've ate 100-calorie chocolate bar and okay, now I'm going to go through the cupboards and eat everything else that's in there. Where now, like, I know that I can fit stuff like that in my calories. Yeah. And if I do eat off plan, if you like, not going to put
you're fine.
That's why we've done our diet plan, like with yourself. We give you a structured plan, like as a guide. But I've always said to you, just send me pictures of what you're eating.
Yeah.
And if I see something on there, like it's not something that you shouldn't be eating. If I see you're going over your calories, and I'll just point out and say, Georgia, why don't you just remove that or
and
replace?
Add this in instead.
Even just like simple things like swapping semi-skimmed milk or full-fat milk out for like almond milk, which is like a quarter of the calories.
It's crazy how.
So you can have 3 times the amount of that milk. Yeah. So you could have cereal with that milk and still like you're well within your calories. But that's where just little changes like that, making them smarter choices. Topping up with like them 10-cal jelly pots and things like that when you're on a low-calorie diet just helps keep you full.
I feel like as well, obviously the group chat totally motivates me because we have so many people at so many different stages in their journey. Yeah. It's nice for, like, even if, I don't know, say someone's not very well, we're all like, I hope you get well soon. Like, and like people send pictures of the food in and people send pictures of them on walks, and you see someone outside on a walk, even though it's raining, you think, oh, I can't really be bothered going, but then you're like, oh, but they're out on a walk and it's raining, so I should, like, what's my excuse, do you know what I mean?
Well,
So
and that works for me. Like it's like a family community, isn't it?
Yeah,
like everyone looks after each other, but like sometimes I'll be sat on the sofa and I'll see yous lot out there in the rain walking. I think I better get out and practice for a beach here. Because it is just, you've got to, like, that's what it's there for. That's what the group's there, not just to support each other, but motivate each other.
And it helps as well. Like you say, obviously that used to are on your own like journeys. As well. Like
100%.
obviously you had your shoot and you were like, oh God, like I'm feeling it this week. But it's nice to see that you feel it, because then it makes you feel human for having like a.
It does. Like, I've got a coach myself, and people think, well, why have you got a coach if you're a coach? But at the end of the day, what they don't understand is having a coach is not just about like being told what to do or how to do it. It's the accountability.
Yeah.
It's
and that's
just,
been a big thing. That's helped me as well.
Yeah, because for me, it's like, if I'm paying him now to help me get a result.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to waste that money.
No.
I want to make the most of it. None of us want to waste money in life. We always want to get the most out of what we put in. So if you're paying for something, you're more likely to like work hard at it and get that result. And I've got that accountability. I have to check in with him. I think yesterday was the first time I've not checked in with the guy, and it was like, genuinely, I've had a busy weekend, stressful
I haven't
weekend.
checked in with him. He's going to be wondering what's
he's messaged
going
me
on.
yesterday, and I was like, look, this is what's going on, blah, blah, over the weekend. But I've still been on track.
Yeah.
And I just sent him a voice note to say like where I was at with my stuff, but I just hadn't done my official check-in. But it's again, for the last year, if I hadn't had them check-ins and weekly accountability, I don't think I'd have got to the result, because I know I'd have got distracted by work, or I'd just stayed in my comfort zone in the gym.
Yeah.
But because I've had my coach, and it's the same with me when I'm looking at my clients, I know like when they're staying in the comfort zone, and I know when sometimes when a person's like I think I messaged you yesterday and said you need a break. Like you can tell when someone needs it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with needing a break and having a break, because at the end of the day, look how far you've come.
Yeah.
1 day off or 2 days off isn't going to kill you.
No, it's like you've made me realise as well though that like it's normal to like have a break.
Yeah.
Like you like you'd said to me, I think it was like after the other photo shoot, I was like, Abdul, like I'm totally flagging, I'm really not alright. And you were like, okay, have 5 days off, and I was like,
Is that right?
5? Was that an error?
Yeah.
And you were like, it's fine, like you need it, like but
I've
it's
been working consistently.
and like I remember saying to like Lewis and my friends and that, they were like, oh, you train today? I was like, nah, I'm under strict instruction not to train. They were like, what? But it's like it's normal,
all
like
part
you
of
need
the
to listen
journey.
to your body, like
That's what it is. The journey's not just about doing X amount, doing work. It's about teaching you when to rest, when to listen to your body. Now, I knew when I said you have 5 days off, I knew by the 3rd or 4th day you're going to be itching to go back to the gym. Do you wear your messages? And I was like, no, wait. And the more you want something, the more you'll enjoy it when you go back to it. And sometimes that little break from the gym, I think you'll enjoy it. Like when I was out in Dubai recently, I enjoyed it there training. And like now I'm missing them gyms, I'm back here. But when I first come back here, I was looking forward to go back to my old gym, because you haven't trained there. It's just, change of environment's good as well, isn't it, sometimes?
Yeah, definitely.
Another good trick, I think, is just change up your routine. Like sometimes if you get bored in the same gym, is go and get a day pass at a different gym.
Yeah.
You don't have to go and sign up at another gym, but you can go and get a day pass and just try out a different gym.
Yeah.
Or like go and train with somebody different for a day, and you'll see. And the good thing about training with someone different is you're going to see how far you've progressed, because when you train with someone who you used to train with, you go back to like, oh,
push yourself.
she used to lift more than me, or she used to be fitter than me. But I had a client before, and she was, my friends coming to train, and that was when we were doing PT, and she was bringing that to the gym to train with, and I was like, all right. And she was like, oh, she's proper fit, she does this, she does that. And I was like, yeah. And I said, you do realise you're probably fitter than her, like after what we've been going through, like program we've been through. Yeah. She went, oh no, she's super fit. Anyway, thought now of it, a mate's come along, done this training session, and at the end of the training session, we put like a little hit circuit in at the end. I said, right, do you want to both just jump on this? And the girl who'd been training with me absolutely annihilated it. The other one got run through the first, it was a 3-round circuit. She'd only got through the first round and give up.
Yeah.
And afterwards she was buzzing. She was like, I can't believe it. She went, I thought she was. I said, yeah, no, but you're just going off what you've done previously and what you're seeing on social media when she's posting little clippings. I know you've consistently been doing this for the last so many months, and that's how you've got that result. And it's the same with you when you go and train with someone who you used to train with. You're going to realise, oh, I can do pull-ups now. I couldn't do them when I was there. She can't, I can lift this much weight, and you'll see the difference because you've had that consistency and trained consistently.
Yeah, I often do like my best friend lives in Sunderland, so we often do like meet in the middles, and we got like
Yeah.
a different gym, and it's nice because
Yeah.
like I'll take exercises off what I do, and she'll put exercises in of what she does, and like she's always been able to lift like loads. And the last time we trained together, I could lift what she was lifting. I was like, God, like, because we used to be constantly unloading and offloading the plates, like for me and stuff. And the session used to take about 3 hours because we were like offloading and loading. But we can like train the same now, and I never thought that I'd be able to do that, but I can.
No, it's good. That's what we want, isn't it? Like the whole point of the journey is just to get better at something. On the mental health side of things, and like just your mindset and stuff, what benefits do you think you've seen that on that side of things?
God, I'm completely different now to what like I used to be. I was actually talking to my brother about it the other day. So I used to go obviously into the gym. I'm quite an anxious person, so I'd be like, oh, I need to put like baggy clothes on, and they'll be looking at me, and they're like, no one actually cares what you're doing in the gym. Like literally no one. You could be doing backflips and that, literally no one watches you. Everyone's that focused on what they're doing. It's completely different. Like I remember going in the gym once with Lewis, and it was busy as like it was about 6 o'clock at night. It was prime time, and I just looked at him and I was like, we need to go. We hadn't even started, and he was like, wow, what's the matter? And I was like, we need to go, like I can't stay in here. I feel like claustrophobic and that, and because there was that many people in there, where like now I feel like I get up on a morning and I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like I'm happier. Like it sounds cheesy as, but like I have like a complete better mindset. Like I used to find myself like say going to the gym, training, and then I'd come out and I'd sit in the car and I'd be close to tears, and then I'd be like, well, what's the point? Like, where now I feel like it helps my mind be clearer. Yeah. Where before I was just jumbled mess.
Yeah, it is. It's. I think once you're eating right and you're training and exercising, it just has a knock-on effect of like just better, all around better health, mental health. You know, your overall attitude towards life. I think just everything just improves, doesn't it?
Like getting out for a walk. Like I went for a walk this morning, and like afterwards I got in the house and I was like, like it's weird. Yeah. But like the endorphins just literally like flood. Yeah. Where before, like I used to get steps in. I used to go to the gym and that, but it'd be like a feeling of dread going to the gym. Yeah. Where now I enjoy it because I know what I'm doing. I've got something to stick to. And
do you feel like your goals have changed now? Where before it was about losing weight, and now it's about my body's changing.
Yeah, like I know my own body more now than I ever did. Like I know what I can do, what I can't do. Yeah. Like I know when I need to stop, and that it's okay to actually stop. And sleep's really important as well. Like 100%. I didn't used to realise how important it was. I used to be like, I'll just have like 4 hours sleep, go to the gym, go and do a 10-hour shift at work, and then have 4 hours sleep again. Yeah. Like where now I'm like, right, need to go to sleep, need to actually rest. Like I'm the nap queen. Yeah. I love a nap. I do. Like, and before I never used to be able to actually switch off and go to sleep. Where now, like last week I was on late at work, and I was getting up, going for a walk, eating, going to the gym, going home, having a nap, and then going to work, and then having a full night's sleep after work. Yeah. Where like before, I feel like because I wasn't burning any energy, I was just sluggish. I've got loads more energy and stuff now. Yeah, you do. Well. Because
that's it. You earn that sleep as well, don't you? So you do need it. It's just continuously like working hard and then needing that. Yeah, but I'm the same with like naps. Like I love a good nap.
Oh God, tell me about it. But, do you feel like your mindset's changed as well, like with your food? There's no like, yeah.
100%. I had a really bad relationship with food, and I never actually knew I had a bad relationship with food until now I've got a good one. Yeah. Where I used to think like I don't really label things as bad food anymore, like, and I feel like I still live, even though I'm like, I went to the Christmas markets at the weekend and I had hot chocolate and I had loaded fries, and it's all right. Like it's.
Do you find other people ask you like when you're doing that?
Oh yeah.
Everyone else like, I thought you're on a diet. I thought you can't eat that. Yeah. Yeah. I got that. Honestly, we went to a wedding recently. It was a few months back, and I'd gone over to the dessert stand, got some desserts, and I was walking back to the table. And they weren't all for me; they were for everyone else as well. But
all right.
I didn't walk back. I thought you're on a diet. Oh, wait, that. What was it? Oh, I'll put that on your story, I'll put this on here. And I'm like, it's part of my diet. Yeah. What do you mean? And the people who were saying it to me stood there with a kite on them, like, fucking, I don't know what, like, you know what I mean? I thought, you need to be on the diet more than I do, but like, they're off it, and they're just, first question is, I thought you're dieting. I am dieting. It's
It
food.
winds me up, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it actually doesn't
Well,
annoy me.
I actually kind of like hate that word because I just feel like
What, diet?
Yeah, and I'm
because
like,
it's
no,
not, is it? It's a
It's
lifestyle.
a lifestyle, yeah.
Yeah, I'm eating right, and I can still enjoy myself without punishing myself
Mhm.
like the next day, because that's what majority of people's mindset is like.
Yeah, I used to like restrict myself,
Yeah,
and then I'd eat some chocolate, and then I'd be like, oh, diet's ruined.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
and that's it. You start binging, and then
Yeah.
it turns into not just
and then
one
you just
thing,
do
it
a
turns
downward
into
spiral
days.
of, yeah.
Well, that's how, when I've come out my, well, what you call dieting phase, when we've come out with the cut after the photo shoot, and my calories went up, all I done was stuck to the calories I was on with the diet, kept that food all clean, and then the extra calories you had, and just whatever you want. I call it whatever the fuck you want diet, but just basically you have 300 or 400 calories of anything that you want.
Yeah.
So that way, it's part of your plan, part of you following it. As long as you're having say 70% good, and then the other 30% was just whatever I wanted.
Yeah. I always remember when like I first ever signed up. It feels like ages ago now. And you'd sent me obviously like my diet plan and that over with the calories and stuff. And I remember saying to Lewis like, surely not. Surely I can't live off that amount of calories. But it's actually crazy how full I am when I do eat them. Because now I don't eat like calorie dense foods. I eat volume foods. And volume, it's actually crazy. Like people say to me like, how are you eating all that for your teen losing weight? Because it's carrots.
Yeah.
It's broccoli. It's vegetables. Where it's not like I'm not eating a full plate of chips and like this much chicken. Like
that's where
protein,
most people go wrong when it comes to a diet. So what most people do is they'll be eating like fucking junk and non-stop calorie dense food all the time, and then I'm going on a diet, and the first thing they do is just reduce eating what they were eating before.
Yeah.
So they're eating the same calorie dense food, but a lot less of it.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen then? You're going to be starving. That's why we always say like make smarter choices.
Yeah.
Pick something that's high in volume. Yes, still enjoy the niceties that you like, but if you make the smarter choices, you're going to be more full. Increase your protein intake, get your fruit and veggies into you, plenty of water. These are the things that are going to keep you full, and then you're still going to be able to enjoy a little bit of the other stuff, but go more towards these. But if you're being used to eating calorie dense food all the time, and then you're expected to die eating calorie dense food, you're never going to be able to stick to it.
No.
It's like your stomach. I done a video on it the other day, like just pretend to jug your stomach, and you pour a few Skittles in there that's 100 calories. It doesn't fill it. Fill that bowl up with lettuce or veg, and it's 100 calories.
Yeah.
So it just shows how your stomach's going to react
100
to that.
calories of lettuce is like nearly a whole bloody lettuce.
Exactly. So it's like it's not saying eat that lettuce, but putting that 100 calories of veg on your plate alongside a bit of chicken and some rice, it's going to fill you up.
Yeah.
You're unlikely to snack after that because you're going to be quite full.
I feel like the meal plan things helped me loads because I hate my fitness pal because I find myself like doing the food shop and I'd be like going around like scanning the foods and stuff, like getting quite obsessed with like the whole app. Don't get me wrong, I do use it, but only when I'm not eating off the guidance, if that makes sense. Yeah,
well, one of the clients messaged me yesterday and she was like, she sent us a screenshot. She went, I'm having this for my tea and it's 270 calories. 250 calories. I was like, right. But she sent me a picture of it. So I read, and on the picture it has the calories. So it was 320 calories. So it's 70 calories difference. So I was like, that's 320 calories. She went on off MyFitnessPal says it's 250. So MyFitnessPal's wrong on the packet there. It clearly says on it. But she didn't understand right.
Yeah.
Because when it says cal, it says KCL. A lot of people get confused. So I was like, no, it's actually 320 calories. But now imagine you've done that over 3 or 4 meals for the day. Yeah. It's a lot of extra calories. So your deficit might have gone out the window. So to get a game where like a lot of people just get confused with tracking the calories. And that's why it's good to have someone there. Yeah. Because like people used to say to me, oh, what are you doing that for? What have you signed up for that for? It's a waste of money. It's not. But you know, it isn't, because it's like, if I'm stuck with something, I can message either of you two and be like, what do you think of this? Or and like I'd said to you a couple of weeks ago, I'm having a Parmo on Monday. Not like, oh my God, can I have one? Because I knew you'd be like, yeah. Eat it, and you'd be like, just be mindful that a Parmo's X amount of calories, like, and I know what I need to do now to eat the bad foods, if you like, because you can eat them, and it's like when people say, oh, how's your diet going? I'm like,
not really a diet.
Yeah, just
Like-
eating what you want, but in moderation.
Yeah.
It's just that's it. Just getting again with the palm, you just know like before I just looked at a full palm and thought I'll have that, but now I know I wouldn't eat because I know how many calories are in it.
Yeah.
But I'll still enjoy half a palm more. Or like even like to be honest with you, I get a half palm what share it was in, and I've done that, so we just end up sharing it.
It's just like you said, it's making smarter choices, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like sorry, I
No,
feel
no.
like the older generation, like my mum, like when she diets, if you like, she'll eat like them skinny, what are they, like cup of soups, but they've got like noodles in. She's like,
Oh,
I'm gonna have 2 of them, and I've had a slice of toast, and I'm like,
Oh, my
where's the
mum's the same.
protein?
Yeah.
Like they
My
don't
mum-
realise, do they, that
They
like
either starve themselves or go for these soups
Yeah.
or these smoothies.
yeah, like she'd
and-
ring me on a night and she'd be like, well, I've had X, Y, and Z. What can I have? And I'd be like, you've had about 100 calories. Like
Yeah.
you've literally had a cup of soup and a couple of slices of ham.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, mum's the same. Well, then she'll come round my house. I bought you these because they're healthy and like Nature Valley bars or whatever.
yeah,
And
but
she'll shove a load of them, and I'm like, I don't need them. Yeah, but they're healthy ones. I said, they're not. Just because they've got pictures of flowers on the front, and like whatever, of nature on the front, it doesn't mean that they're healthy. I said, they're not. I said, they've just got they're rammed full of sugar. Oh no, but they're in the healthy section in the super. Like,
yeah,
but
the
they don't
healthy
know.
section.
They don't know that it's just like one of them things. That's another thing when it comes to foods like that as well. So why we say stick to whole foods and like real food, when you go for processed foods, what a lot of people don't know is the food companies have got 20% allowance. So when they put the packaging out and they put that label on it, they've got a 20% allowance. So if something's 100 calories, it could really be 120, and they're allowed to tell you it's 100 because that's the allowance they've got. So there's no way like they're going to bring out this new protein bar and it's they can write on there that it's 24 grams of protein, but really it's 20. They're going to write 24, aren't they? If they can say it's 200 calories when really it's 240 calories, they're going to write 200. So people forget now. Imagine you're eating processed food morning till night. You're not eating no real foods in there. Everything you've eaten could be 20% off. So at the end of the day, just say for argument's sake, you're on 2,000 calories and you've had 2,000 calories of processed food and you've gone by the packaging. In reality, that could be 2,000 like 800, is it, or something like that? Calories, an extra 800 calories. So your deficit's just gone out the window. So you're not really in that deficit that you think. So it's 2,400 on it.
I don't even know.
That's
I'm like,
fine.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
But either way, your deficit's gone out the window, but you don't know why. And that's, again, when I see people who say, well, I'm only eating, I'm sticking to my deficit.
Yeah, but
If you're not losing weight, you're not in a deficit.
No.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So what you've got to look at is stop believing that you're in a deficit, and you've got to look at like, why am I not hitting this deficit? What is it I'm doing wrong? So look at the food, the type of food you're eating. Look at how you're tracking them. Again, are you using MyFitnessPal? Well, obviously it's not right if you're not in your deficit, so you're not tracking properly. Are you eating processed food and you're going off the packaging? Well, again, it's 20% out, so maybe that's the reason why. Are you forgetting to track something? Are you not tracking your liquid calories? Another thing a lot of
I
people
never
don't.
used to track liquid.
Yeah.
I never,
Scoop of sugar,
and
not
it's
realising.
it.
Milk.
One of the clients the other day, she'd only just started. So I said, like, send me pictures of everything that you're eating. I want to see like what's going in, so we can have a look at, start building your plan out. Because I like to see the pictures of what they're eating, and then build a food plan based on what they like to eat, rather than me just saying to you, "There's your diet plan." That's no good because I don't know what food you like. Yeah. So you might not like it, but you're going to be too scared to tell me, or you might not. You might think I have to do this. So I'd rather for the first week or so just send me pictures of what you're eating, and then I'll start adjusting your plan and making it suit.
I think what people don't realise is it's tailored to you.
Yeah,
like
that's it,
I can't stress enough to say that. Like it's for you. Like you have a consultation call at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And
like
chicken and rice every single day.
and you actually don't have to eat lettuce and like chicken to lose weight. Like I'm living proof that you can actually eat good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to eat like bland food when you're in a deficit.
Yeah.
Your dinner you posted the other day, I was like,
It was so good.
The gravy.
Well, this client had posted me on, I think on Saturday, picture of a dinner. It was some chicken nuggets. You tell it was pub food, like chicken nuggets and a bit of ketchup or something. And I was like, "Oh, that's all I've eaten today." I was like, "Right. So what liquid calories have you had with that?" Because I knew straight away she was in the pub. 4 or 5 pints.
Oh God.
Like, so you've had an extra 1,000 calories, easy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, again, people forget to track them and they think, because I've only eaten this, but they're not looking at like what they've drank. Now, it doesn't have to be alcohol, even with like full fat fizzy drinks. people drink orange juice out of the carton. Do you think that's healthy? Yeah, it's healthy. It's orange juice, but
Full of
at the
it.
same time, yeah,
And calories.
full of calories and sugars. So again,
It just changes, doesn't
I'm not saying anything bad,
No.
but just track it in your calories, and then you can't go wrong. But if you're just tracking what you're eating physically in food, and you're not tracking the other stuff, don't cry that you're not losing weight because you're not tracking properly.
It's like, I love going out and getting a coffee. Like, me and my friends will go for a walk on a Sunday and we'll go to like Costa and stuff, and I know, don't, because I never ever actually realised, like, I don't want it to sound like triggering to anyone, but like there's like 400 calories in a Costa latte, and I'm looking at like because I never used to look. I used to be like, I'll have a coffee, and then I'd be like, oh, I've only had a coffee all day, but it's like so now when I do go, like, we get Americano or we mix it up and have like they don't do almond milk anymore, which is sad, but you get like skimmed milk. The difference in calories is actually crazy.
I do the same now. If I go to a coffee shop, I'm getting a cake. Doesn't matter. Like, I can't just get a coffee. I'm just a cake edge, you know what I mean? But, so when I go there now, it's before, like years ago when I didn't know about how to track calories and like what was in drinks and stuff, I'd go and get a coffee or a latte. So your latte is about 400 or 500 calories. Then I get a slice of cake with it. Cake's about 500. So you're like, there's 1,000 calories. Now if you just swap your latte for a black coffee and still have the cake, you've just half the calories.
Yeah.
So you haven't restricted yourself, but you've still made a little adjustment, and you've just halved your calories, and you're still enjoying a nice coffee, and you're still having a cake with it.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, if you want to have the latte and you're not really into your cakes and stuff, then just have the latte. But like, just make some adjustment somewhere to give you that sort of saving.
Yeah.
And it sounds like when you say it to other people, like I'll say to my mum, like, oh no, I can't eat that because, well, not that I can't eat it, but no, I'm not going to drink your blue milk.
Yeah.
I'd rather, I couldn't have red milk on like cereal and stuff, but that's then why I have almond milk now.
Yeah.
And the amount of almond milk you can have compared to like
it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Normal
I think 250 mils, something like 36
calories. It is like, that's actually mind blowing, and it tastes good.
I know.
It is.
Like, it is good milk, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh well, been good chatting. So, what else? What would you say to anyone else who's like sort of in that predicament now, where they're procrastinating about starting the journey, or just...
I feel like everyone now at this time of year is like, oh, it's Christmas, like I'll start in January. Do it now. The gyms are going to be really busy in January.
Yeah. So now's the time to get used to it.
Now's the time to like make yourself familiar with the gym and get yourself into a routine for January.
Yeah, because the gyms are quiet now. This is when they start to die off, and this is the time when you want to go in and get
because everyone now eats what they want.
And you know, most people where they go wrong this time, there's probably a handful of days that you're going to enjoy over the next 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
So what about the rest of the days? Why not track and learn some good habits them days and then still enjoy them days? But otherwise, what'll happen if you're like me? I'll just go the next 20 days eating junk in that Christmas mode, thinking I'll start January. Because January comes, you're 2 stone more than what you were at the beginning of December, and you're like, oh, I can't bother with this. And it's rock hard trying to get into it.
Yeah, I think it's the first time that I'm actually like excited to eat like Christmassy stuff and not feel like bad for it, sort of thing, because I know what to do now. So I can eat the Christmassy stuff and it's not gonna like really affect me. But for anyone who's like on the fence, just do it. Yeah. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, it's the best thing I ever done. Because I'm a completely different person because of it.
There was 2 ladies that I had ring me in September. One signed up and the other one didn't. Now, their sort of like process over the 4 months would have been the same. They were going to both be going on holiday, weddings to attend to, and other social events. One started and has done all of those things, gone on holiday, weddings, everything, enjoyed going out concerts, and still has lost weight and maintained during the holiday. Yeah. The other one didn't. So you think you could have started and been in that same situation. Yeah. The one who did start, she still lost like 9 kgs.
Yeah, she's done fantastic.
And has done absolutely amazing and is feeling amazing. And I just think to myself, like what you were saying, you're fitting it into your life. Yeah. Gym has become your life, you know. It's not just, I've got to
sounds so cheesy, doesn't it?
No,
but
it's true. It's like if you wanted to go to uni and do a course.
You fit it in.
You're going to fit it into your lifestyle. It's part of you. You have to do that coursework, just like going to the gym. And I just think, well, we could have achieved something, but you chose not to because you put that barrier in place already. Like, oh, well, I've got this, so there's no point. There is a point. That's
Yeah,
about
100%.
learning how to navigate through life and still implement, a healthy lifestyle as well. Yeah. Sorry, I wanted to say last time, because we messed up the last podcast, one thing that I love that you said was that you love yourself now.
Oh yes, I totally do. Like it's so
I always
cringy,
remember
but
you
like
saying that.
I find myself sometimes in the gym looking in the mirror and I'm like, as if that's like me. But it's so like weird, but I present myself differently. Like when like I went out with the girls and I was like I'm confident. And like it's so crazy to actually look in the mirror and think, I look alright today. It sounds really big-headed, but it's I worked hard for that, so I'm going to show it off. And like, I used to go into the gym, completely cover myself up. Where now, when I'm sweating and I need some sort of air, I'm in a sports bra and my leggings and stuff, and I'm not afraid to.
I just feel like in today's society, we're so focused on what social media says, and that says that we need to look like this. You're now like, I'm happy in this body. And that's why I wanted to bring that up. I really forgot to bring it up. And that's why I just think it's such a positive, because it's positive in mindset as well, not just like body, but what you see in the mirror.
That's what we advertise. It's like when we put our adverts out for when we take a new client intake, it's always, we will help you drop fat. And the reason I say drop fat is because there's a difference between losing fat and weight. But I'll come to that in a second. So it's drop fat, we're going to help you get toned, which is build muscle, and we're going to help you get your confidence back. They're the three things that come. Yeah. So when you drop weight and you feel toned, they say toned, but at the end of the day, what you're doing is build a muscle. So when you build muscle, take away the layers of fat that you've got, you're going to look toned at the end of it. Yeah. I've even had people message me and say, I want to get toned, but I don't like lifting weights. Well, you're not going to get toned if you don't lift weights. You've got to build muscle to get toned. Yeah. People think by jumping on a treadmill and running, you're going to get toned. My mind. You're not going to get toned.
Who wants to go to the gym and spend 3 hours on a treadmill to try and lose weight when you can spend can spend literally 45 minutes to an hour lifting weights? Yeah. And I've obviously been lifting weights since for a while, but properly since June. Yeah. I'm not bulky.
You don't get bulky.
No, you don't.
You look amazing.
No, you're just going to get toned and slender. That's what you're going to get. But it's, again, people don't understand that, do they, until they actually start getting into a process, getting coached and getting taught these things. Yeah. Like I said, it's not just coaching you and telling you what to do, it's educating you.
100%.
There's eventually be a time when you go on your own and you're going to know, I'm all right now. And if you go through that phase, we all go through times in life where you put a bit of weight back on or you have a little spell, but you'll know how to pull yourself back around. You'll know, I've done this last time. Yeah. Just eat this, I can still have this. And you've got all them good habits in place.
Calorie deficit is the main thing. Yeah. Move and eat within a deficit and you'll love yourself again.
Well, that's it. The two ways you create a deficit, one is by reducing food and the other one's by increasing output. Yeah. So as long as you've got them two balanced, you're going to have a deficit. Or if you don't have the balance between the two, you're going to have to take one to the other extreme. So try and find the balance between the two and you're going to be all right, aren't you? Yeah. I always say to people, I'd rather increase my activity than drop my food.
Oh, God, same.
So to me, it's
100%.
And they say to me, why do you put my steps up? Well, would you rather drop your food? It's up to you, drop your food down, put your steps up.
I'd rather do 1,000 more steps and still be able to eat what I'm eating now. Exactly. I honestly, I couldn't. You have to. Food it's fuel, so you can move more if you're eating. But if you're dropping your calories and then moving, you'll flake.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd rather go for a nice long walk and have a cake than.
He would as well.
But it's been great. So thanks for watching, guys, and keep posted on our Instagram page for updates, and hopefully we'll be posting Georgia's photo shoot results in the next couple of weeks. Thank you, Samina, and thank you, Georgia.
You're welcome.